12 titles in his career.
You just can't bowl any better than this man is right now. A shuffle 4.5 step delivery. Just look at all the positions. You can draw anywhere you want. Perfect position here, feet in perfect position. Left arm pulling the left shoulder back, head steady, and lift right underneath the ball, and he just saws the rack in half the first frame.
Double for Brian Voss. So quickly up is Bob Spaulding, who marked with a spare in the first frame. Moves to the right lane. A 5-pin.
Spaulding with probably the strongest ball among the 5 players today on the telecast. Pretty ideal style, stays low crouch position, but in this position he curls that wrist right underneath the ball, drives all the way through the pivot step, and a great snap at the back end. This time he didn't quite get all the lift necessary to knock the pins over and left the 5.
Like many of the pros on tour, they have a sponsor. Bob has David Switzer of Mechanicsburg, Pennsylvania, in order to stay out here. He and his wife, Carol, have a 5-year-old daughter named Ashley.
See the graphic where he beat Voss twice. You bowl each man in the 24-man finals one time, and then you catch a man a second time in the position round. He beat Voss in the regular play and defeated him in position round for 3rd and 4th last night. So they go at it again for the 3rd time this week.
And crossing on this pair twice, he averaged 246. His high game was 288.
Right now, you have to see the break point. He needs to get the ball right about in this zone to keep it from going high. If he goes left of that target, the ball's going to jump in and leave a shot like the 4-pin. And the key for Bob is to keep the ball speed consistent. If you get too soft, it hooks too much.
A lot of fans here cheering for Bob Spaulding. And now let's see what Brian Voss can do. Opening with a double, shooting in the 3rd frame. Disappointment.
Solid 10. Voss is so confident coming into today's round. I bet he's almost thinking 300, Chris. He had just crushed this right-hand lane for 1 hour in practice and leave a solid 10 in the early going when he could have taken a commanding 22-pin lead. However, he leaves the 10 with a conversion. He'll lead by 11 through 3 frames.
Brian Voss has his own psychological strategy when it comes to match play.
Well, I think you can do a couple of things. You can just kind of sit back there and say yeah, there's no real strategy in it, or you can use what I call the flex tactic. And that's whenever you get one of those real good strikes, you give your opponent one of these flexes and just do it right in his face. And I'll probably do that today.
Okay. Great guy.
Dead serious right now. Disappointed in that shot. The left-hand lane hooks about a half a board more than the right, and he goes high and leaves the 4-9. You got to get the ball to the left of the 4-pin, drive it into the 9. A shot very much in the repertoire of Brian Voss.
Big try by Brian Voss of Boca Raton, Florida. Yes, we're in Baltimore, home to seafood delicacies like crabs. Oh, goodness.
Now,
it is terrible in the Baltimore area, apparently up and down the East Coast. It's changed our travel plans, everyone's travel plans. But Bob Spaulding is concentrating seriously now on this first game of our Baltimore Open Championship. He's going against Brian Voss. Voss had an open, now trailing by only 2 is this man. rather leading by 2 going into that shot, though.
Well, Chris, he's been around the pocket every single shot. He just is not quite loose out there and relaxed. He left a 10-pin, then a 5-pin, and a couple of 4-pins. And he has a great strike ball, but you have to be relaxed with that wrist as you come through the shot. Another frame or so, he should loosen up and start throwing some strikes.
And there is Carroll. Bob Spaulding waited until he was 30 years old to go out on tour. Here's why.
I was in men's league when I was real young, and I looked for a sponsor for a long, long time, and I couldn't really pick one up in my area. So, it took me until I was 27 until I could pick one up to come out here for a couple of years and give it a try. I always wanted to do it.
Good, solid player going for his first strike.
This is only his second telecast of the year, as these Maryland fans, Pennsylvania fans, are really rooting it up for him. He lost his opening match to George Branham III the last time and only time he had been on television. Fresno Open. '46th telecast for Brian Voss. All right, that'll keep things close here in our first match.
Voss likes this shot, no doubt about it. I really don't think I have seen Brian Voss any sharper than I saw him this week. He is a very traditional type bowler. He's a classic style. He'll be in this zone. He'll be right around between the second and third arrows. And if he can throw a strike here, he'll take the lead.
All right. The cover boy has made his presence known again with a double. Can take the lead by 1 with a strike here. Terrific match, Nelson.
You're right, Chris. Bob Spaulding does not have the experience that Brian Voss has, or maybe even the self-confidence. However, he's a man to really contend with when he's on. He has such a great wrist action on the bowling ball that he can string tremendous strings of strikes. Now let's watch his position. He's standing farther to the left than Voss.